evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. Let me turn down my volume. There we go. Now, the longest it's been for any of these three classes is going to be for the Hunter. That is the one that had a video posted least recently, but I've got this quest for dominance. Either I need to win 5 games with Shaman or with Warlock, and I sure as pony whipping balls do not want to play Warlock. So let's go ahead and do Shaman here. My last 6 runs as Shaman all reached 9 wins. So that's a pretty hot streak. It'd be really funny if I couldn't reach 5 wins now. But we're starting off with a pretty decent rare. I'm actually becoming less and less impressed with Pint-Sized Summoner these days, but I think it's still better than these 2 cards, so we're going to go ahead and pick it up. Jesus. Well, Ancestral Spirit can do nifty things, but let's just pick a Demolisher here. It's the most reliable of these cards. Fire Elemental! Yes, please. These are trash cards, so Bloodlust! Yes, please. Oh, man, what a tough decision. Man, I have to pick between Hex or Stormforged Axe. Shit. Well, the Hex will deal with anything, but the Stormforged Axe just absolutely owns the early game. I'm going to trust my instincts here. I'm going to grab the Axe, although I may live to regret that decision. Alright, we can grab a Manatide Totem here. It's cool if you can protect it. Currently, I have no protection, so it's a bit tricky. Sunwalker might be a more reliable pick, but I'd like to save my 6 mana spots for as many Fire Elementals as we can possibly find. We'll try the Manatide Totem. We'll try it. It at least replaces itself, so it can never be horrible. And if it draws you at least 2 cards, it's fine. If it draws you 3, then it's out of control. Okay, the Ooze is nice to have against weapons, but I think the Loot Hoarder is overall going to be better because it draws you a card. Here, the Kobold Geomancer can be nice because Shamans do have several 1-damage spells, and the Kobold Geomancer is nice, like drop it, play Forked Lightning, drop it, play Lightning Bolt, but I think this engine is such a quality 4-drop, I cannot pass it up. Here we have Garbage, and a Frost Elemental, so I'm glad I didn't take a 6 mana drop earlier when something good was around. I'm going to take the Frost Elemental here. Very, very solid card. Well, here we've got the Pimp. I think that's just what I'm going to call this card. The Ancient Mage. Look at this guy. Look at that waving white hair, that beard. That's so craggy. Oh, Ancient Mage, I love your cheek crags. Yeah, anyway, this guy is fine with Shamans specifically and Paladins because you've got those totems on the field, so it's more likely you'll be able to get that juicy spell damage. Well, this guy's battle cry has been gold money cash dollars for me, but let's make sure we get a silence in here. That'd be nice to have. And this guy, again, is nice, and so is this guy, but I'm going to take a money Berserker. He's such a good 2-drop, and I think my last few arenas, I just haven't had enough good 2-drops. It was, like, really hurting me. Okay, Fire Elemental. I take every single one of those I see. This is very easy as well. We'll take another Ascension. I don't like this creature. It's super aggressive, but it doesn't really help you get board control, like, at all. And this guy's a playable 1-drop, but he is no Ascension. The Taunt is nice, especially since I do have this Manatide Totem I might need to be protecting. Do I care about protecting it enough that I would take this terrible monkey? This is a really bad pack, by the way. I don't want to take this. I don't want to suck up my 6 slots with this thing that's hard to die, but doesn't hit very hard. Oh, man, I guess we'll take... these both suck. So I guess we'll take the one that costs less mana. That's the policy I'll use here. Alright, well, we're getting a 6-drop. I guess we will... So we can take the one with the cool effect or just the one with 3 extra stats. Let's take the extra stats. We already got a Frost Elemental. Let's keep it balanced. Stormwind Champion, very good. We already have a lot of 6-drops, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we see any more Fire Elementals, we'll have more. So we'll take the Raid Leader here. This does work really nicely with totems, and it helps you throw your totems away for value. Earthen Ring Farseer, very good. This guy actually might be able to combo with the Axe, but the Earthen Ring Farseer, it's nice to have a little bit of life gain in your deck, and that is my favorite of the life gaining cards. Yes! Lightning Storm, such a key card for Shamans. I mean, you can win without it, as I have on this channel, but it is nice because Shamans don't really have any mass removal apart from it, so that's why it's really good to see it when you can. This, however, is Trashy McDashy. I don't think I've ever done anything great with this. We'll do this. Sometimes it's nice as a desperation move. On turn 9, you can play it, and it's a 4/2 charger for 3, so it's like a 3-drop, but not really. Oh, man, what is up with all these sad sacks? I could take this for a 1-drop sometimes, or for health gain, but we'll take Frost Shock. It's bad removal, but I think bad removal is better than a bad card. Okay, Harvest Golem is a good 3-drop. This guy's a good 5-drop. We're kind of missing 5-drops, aren't we? We just have Bloodlust. In lieu of a second Bloodlust, let's actually take something that puts stuff on the board. Do I take another Bloodlust? I don't mind having 2, but this is a really cool card. 2 mana, 2 damage. You can also, like, you know, pump them up. I don't have any Flame Tongue Totems, tragically, but I do have a Raid Leader. You know what, let's take Blue Glow Warrior. I hate having both Bloodlusts in my hand. It's just so awkward. Let's just avoid that. Ooh, perfect. Direwolf Alpha is super great. Now, I gotta be careful here. Now I wish I'd taken the Bloodlust, so it's awkward. I don't really want any more 2-drops. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 2-drops. Iron Beak doesn't really count. This doesn't really count unless your opponent has a creature that needs dying. And then, I guess I could have room more in my deck for another one of these. Do I take another? You know, let's take another Boulder Fist Ogre. Why not? If I see another Fire Elemental, I'm going to be sad by how many 6-drops I have. But if I don't see another Fire Elemental, I'm going to be glad I took this guy for some late game. Oh, man. This is just awful. Well, I think this is the least bad of the cards there. Ah, what is going on here? I guess we'll take the Gnomish Inventor. Jesus Christ, where did all the good cards go? Oh, God. This arena is a little bit lacking. I guess we'll take a second Bloodlust now that I got all those Swarm cards against my will. I cannot play that card. What do we get here? Well, we end with a good epic. Sea Giant. Every time I see a giant that's not the Sea Giant, I'm sad it's not the Sea Giant. But that was the Sea Giant, so I'm happy it was the Sea Giant. Very, very playable. I don't know. I wonder if Blizzard will tweak the costs of those giants. It really does just seem like to me like Sea Giant is the best one. 10 mana, minus 1 mana per creature on the board. I mean, really not that difficult to get it down to reasonable prices. I mean, if there are just 4 creatures on the board, you got an 8/8 for 6 mana. That's crazy town. Okay, well, what we'll do is we'll send back the Bloodlust. That won't be immediately helpful. And, yeah, we'll play some stuff. So, the Pint-Sized Summoner on turn 2, to take advantage of it, you really need a 4-drop, which I have. Oh my god. Well, the odds of this surviving are close to 0. I would say it's actually a less than 50% chance in any given game when you when you have a Pint-Sized Summoner in your opening hand. I would gamble. Now I don't know, but I would gamble. It is a less than 50% chance that you will actually get to play it on turn 2 and have it live into turn 3. Very small chance. People know to kill it, and they will do nothing. Or they will stop at nothing to kill that thing. Well, alright. I guess, you know, lightning can strike and all that jazz. Let's go ahead and start getting the beats on. She is a 2/2. I was kind of surprised. I thought maybe Blizzard... So this used to be the first minion to play each turn costs 2 less, which was just insane. I thought Blizzard would nerf it by lowering her stats, but instead they lowered the effect. And you know what? I think Blizzard was right. I think Blizzard nerfed this card in absolutely the correct way. It's very, very good now. Alright, this is a very interesting move by my opponent. So he's putting a 3/3 on the board, and he's also damaging my guy, so that now, after the golem... So basically, he's damaging my guy, and the golem would have previously died, and now it does not. Well, let's think about this. Should I Lightning Storm? This golem will die, but its 2/1 cousin will pop. I actually wish I had healing for this engine. That would be great. Hey, you know what I am? I'm a shaman. I can, like, play... maybe get a healing totem if I'm lucky. Okay, well, let's think. What's going to happen if this is not a healing totem? Actually, even if it is a healing totem, what am I talking about? The golem can still kill this off. And then, the Shatterton Cleric will kill this. What I actually want really is a taunt totem. If it's a healing totem, it's totally unimportant. If it's spell power, I can't use it. If it's the 1/1, that could actually be good. I'm actually in a tough spot. My opponent played some really damn good cards. Man. This previously could have stood up to the golem and survived. You know what I'm actually going to do? I think this is the right move. This might seem crazy, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this, and I'm actually going to do the trading for my opponent. Rather than letting the golem kill my Senjin and the Shattered Sun Cleric to kill my Pint-Size, I'm going to say that the Pint-Size did her job and do the trade. Now, I could have attacked and kind of gambled for the golem to kill the Pint-Size, but I just didn't want to take any chances. The bear. That is a pretty imposing creature, as far as creatures go. And my opponent's going to kill off my 1/1. That was smart. Well, this sucks, because I can play a raid leader, but unfortunately these guys still would have to double tap into the bear to kill it off. So let's go ahead and see what we can get for a totem. A taunt would be really nice. We do not get it. However, this makes Lightning Storm have a 50-50 chance of killing the Misha. Is that worth it? It's a tricky question. I could just also play the Demolisher. I don't care about this, but my opponent might be frightened by it and choose to kill it with the Misha instead of my actually valuable creatures. Let's actually do this. Let's see if I can bait my opponent into killing this thing, or if he's actually going to realize that this thing's just not that great, and let me keep it. Alright, the Tiger's a pretty good card. He is not fooled. He is going to kill the creature that is actually the best one that I have, which is very smart. My Demolisher kills off his wolf, which is a bit sad, because actually that wolf was going to die anyway. This Direwolf Alpha is a turn too late. Previously it would have been great. I could have used it and the Raid Leader to pump one of these guys up by 2 and trade into the Misha. Instead, this Misha just stone cold got to kill 2 things. Unless I blow Lightning Storm to kill it, that is dumb. Okay, we're just going to keep it simple here, folks. We're just going to play the Boulderfist Ogre. It's a big duder face. I'm going to trade that in before I can kill my Demolisher, and then we'll swing. So now this Stranglethorn Tiger can kill my Demolisher, but I'm doing alright. I mean, it's 6 cards to 5 after the Demolisher dies. And this might be able to pick me back some card advantage if my opponent floods the board with a bunch of cheap stuff. Oh, my opponent is not going to oblige me. Okay, well, that's that. Goldshire, this is oh my god, this Goldshire Footman is actually really good. That's funny. That's okay, we're going to flip a totem. Let's flip that, see what we get. I was really hoping for a taunt, but healing is okay as well. Actually, it's not, because the Tiger will still kill this after it heals. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and drop this in the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a Raid Leader. Oh, I can't. I haven't enough mana to play the Wolf. Whoops. Yeah, I'm going to play the Raid Leader, and that's it. That's all I'm going to play. I'm not going to play anything else. We're going to swing with that totem. Man, you know what I could have used? I could have used the Cult Master in this deck. That would have been nice. The Raid Leader plus Cult Master. Oh, that's such a good combo. You throw away all your totems. That would have been cool. Anyway, the Tiger now has to hit my Goldshire Footman and take damage. So that's cool. I'm happy about that. Frost Shock. Well, remember, kids, always kill the hyena first. Or play Lightning Storm and kill everything. Yeah, let's just do that. That seems totally fine. I had ways of, you know, killing all this stuff, you know, very profitably and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. But why bother with all that when you can just do this? Now, what's interesting is that all my stuff here dies to an explosive trap. So I'm going to keep the wolf back until I really need it. We're going to see if this ogre who's getting slowly healed up by the totem can just go the distance. And I have plenty of little chumper nuggets to flesh out freezing traps. Alright, my opponent got what was probably the worst one. This is actually a pretty good combo for hunters. I mean, they're not much in the way of global removal, so this guy can be really good. In this particular scenario, unfortunately, he doesn't really work, and I think I'm just going to win the game. I didn't actually count this, but I'm fairly certain with this ogre leading the charge that that's the win. Alright, kids, remember, always look for the win. Dude Abides. Oh, that's a great hunter name. I didn't even notice. Alright, that was a good game. You know what? I'm glad I took that Boulderfist Ogre. What could I have taken? An Archmage? No, I could have taken a Frost Elemental. Yeah, I like the Ogre there. The extra 2 health and the extra damage. I don't know if the extra damage made a difference, but the extra 2 health definitely did. And that Goldshire Footman, God, I just keep undervaluing Taunt. It's so easy to keep passing Taunt over for other abilities. But there, the Taunt, my little 1-2 humble Taunter, prevented my opponent's Tiger from killing my Ogre. Tasmaniac, nice name for the mage. Okay, so this is an interesting call here. You always have to ask yourself, do I want to keep this Loot Hoarder knowing it's going to die to the hero ability? So like, I spend 2 mana, she spends 2 mana, I draw a card. We both get nowhere. I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with this hand, honestly. So I get to play this guy on turn 1. This will be nice in case my opponent plays a Mana Worm. That is a 1-drop that mages have that gets bonus power every time you cast a spell, and it comes with 3 toughness, so it's actually kind of annoying to deal with. Now, if my opponent has a slow start, you'll be able to tell this because she'll use hero ability on this guy to work him down. But then I can go kaboom, loot hoarder, baby. And she can't kill them both. Well, now this is actually bad. Oh, Stormforged Axe! That's really good. That was really good. Yeah, well, what could that have been? A Hex? Alright. Well, we'll keep a running tally through this arena. So far, Stormforged Axe 1, Hex 0. That was definitely way better than a Hex. Alright. We are rootin' tootin', fruitin' crootin'. Okay. Well, this is actually another good answer to Goldshire Footman. My opponent keeps having those. If I play this, if I attack into this and use my axe to finish this off, the 1/1 pops. I don't really get anywhere. I could use the owl to silence this. So it's kind of like I'm killing the golem in exchange for letting the owl live. Yeah, that seems okay to me. Let's go ahead and do this. And you know what? Let's actually just get the kill right here. Let's not wait. So yeah, my opponent now can use hero ability to kill the owl, but at 4 mana is where you start getting lots of quality drops. Like, you know, you got your Chillwind Yeti here, you got your Sen'jin Shieldmaster. So if she does kill this right here, she's not doing other potentially more important things. Nope, my opponent's got nothing better to do. She's gonna kill that owl. Does she have anything for 2 mana? Nope. It's possible she does, but just didn't want to play it because of this. Now I have 2 main options. One, I can coin out this guy, or I could do this. Honestly, I think if you don't use a coin for this, what are you going to use a coin for? I mean, this is so much more power on the board than the Razorfen Hunter. I think it was really important to put that down. Alright, well, we got 6 damage on the field. This will die in 2 turns to a Flame Strike, which you always have to assume mages have. This will survive a Flame Strike, though. If I can get it on there in the next couple of turns. It's a bit of a tall order. Especially because my opponent's first to play, so she'll reach 7 mana before I do. And I've used my coin. But I think it's worth trying. Alright, my opponent's going to do that. I will take the hit. I've gotten hit by nothing else. I might as well just kill this thing with my axe, take the damage, and keep this guy around. Alright, well, here, let's go ahead and just put as much creatures on the board as we can. No need to play my Sen'jin here, really. Not only would that have left me with 1 mana, so it wouldn't have used my mana fully, but also, I have nothing that needs to be protected. My opponent's board is empty, so I don't care. Okay, so here my opponent's probably best play would be freezing spells, and then kill everything next turn with Flame Strike. But if she doesn't have Cone of Cold, say, if she just plays creatures, this guy will drop, and then my opponent has an ugly choice. She either has to polymorph this, or she has to Flame Strike this, but she can't deal with both. If my opponent does drop anything, I will be able to play the Sea Giant, and then I will start trying to trade my creatures, because I'm just going to assume she has the Flame Strike. You should always assume a mage on turn 7 has Flame Strike. They're going to take every single Flame Strike they see in the draft, and for one of the Flame Strikes to be in the top 10 cards is pretty likely. So, you don't want to... I mean, I will admit, on this channel, won games because my opponent miraculously didn't have Flame Strike, but pretty much every time I'm playing a mage and I talk about having Flame Strike, they have Flame Strike. Now, this is actually a real problem because what my opponent did was not play anything of her own. She killed my own creatures. Now this is more expensive than what I can play, which is a bit sad. However, it's not all lost, because what I can do is I can play this guy and the totem. Now the totem's going to die to Flame Strike, sure. But this isn't really the greatest of all Flame Strikes. This and this... Okay, so this dies. This gives me a card. This is a free totem. This lives. My opponent's not at 9 mana yet, so she cannot do the thing where she uses hero ability to pick off a 5 toughness creature. So Flame Strike here would really not be the greatest of all Flame Strikes. And if my opponent doesn't Flame Strike here, then this guy is probably going to be playable next turn. I mean, if she kills one of my creatures, this guy will cost 7, but I'm getting up to 7 mana. So my opponent needs to have a polymorph saved up to deal with this, but if she's polymorphing, she can't Flame Strike. This is a really interesting thing and frustrating thing that you'll notice if you play as mage. Flame Strike costs 7 mana, polymorph costs 4, so you can never play both in the same turn. Ah, my opponent has a healer. I need a healer. No, actually, I don't actually need a healer. I'm doing good with that one, thanks. Alright, is that all she's going to do? Shout out Sun Cleric. Ah, that's smart, because what that does is, it prevents my Sen'jin from killing this thing. Let's do a quickity-dickety check to see if I can win. 2, 4, plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 12 is 19. I cannot win with Bloodlust, but I can definitely play this guy down. So the question is, do I want to play the Raid Leader? The answer is I do, and the reason why is it allows me to do such good trades. Let me just do a quick count. If after I totem, this thing will cost 2. Yeah, so I can actually do that. So it's really important when you're playing a Sea Giant to first play it and then do all your trades. So I'm going to make a totem that will make this cost 2 mana, and then I can play him as well. Okay, so we got the Sea Giant down. Now, let's go ahead and do our trades. We're going to first of all Loot Hoarder that. Returning Farseer, that's nice. And then, well, the issue is if I run this engine into that thing, my Sen'jin will die to a Flame Strike. So, that's not the end of the world, because that will be in my opponent's whole turn, and this guy will survive. We'll do it. We'll kill this thing. So yeah, now the Sen'jin will die to either a hero... No, the Sen'jin will not die to hero ability because my Healing Totem heals it up. So the Healing Totem, even after the nerf, still has uses. Flame Strike is probably mandatory if my opponent has it, but even so, this thing will continue hitting for 8 damage, which is pretty good. Faceless Manipulator, good play. Well, now she has her own 8/8, but the problem is that was 5 of her mana, and this thing does not have Taunt. So, I'm just going to win this turn. I got 9, 10, 11, 15. I actually have 20 damage even without the Bloodlust, but just in case I had an off by 1 arithmetic error. Let's do this. So yeah, this was a mage who miraculously did not seem to have a Flame Strike. However, I was probably going to win without it, because again, I still had that creature on the board. I could have dealt for 8 damage. So if she didn't have an answer to it, she was going to be screwed like the balls Dickens. Okay, well that is 2 games. So as always, folks, I'll play the first couple of games here in this first video. That's just for those of you who don't have as much time and you want to just see the draft in a couple of games. If you want to see how it all ends, well, you'll have to stay tuned. The rest of the games are coming soon. Please like and or subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Till then.